I'm in love with my married best friend, but his husband loves me. What did you say? I asked. I had heard him, but wanted to know if I heard right. Nico and I are getting married, Jesse said excitedly. What? How did that happen? What do you mean by you are getting married? I asked, dumbfounded. Getting married? How else do you want me to say it, Liam? He asked. Nico and I are getting hitched. What the hell? He had called me all the way from my home to hear this. I know, right? It sounds crazy that we met some months ago, but that looks like last week. Then I thought... Jesse's words faded into my deafening silence. He couldn't read from my face that my heart had been broken to many bits because of the news he just revealed to me. My eyes were already stinging and tears were about to stream down my face. I was about to watch the one who I was in love with go forever. Flashback 7 months ago. For the longest time, Jesse and I had been best friends, but he never knew I had a huge crush on him. Each time I had the opportunity to tell him, I always chickened out and watched him get taken away by someone else. For a long while, I had been there when he was in and out of relationships. The happy times, the times when I had to be a shoulder to cry on. I was all that to him, but never more. My heart always bled whenever he went with the wrong person, because I always knew I was the best person for him, but he just never noticed me. Soon he had a painful breakup which took his happy side away for a very long time. I had to do a lot of work restoring him to his normal self. Things were going great, and I was feeling lucky at a point and began to plan how I was going to ask him out. Every day with him was a dangerous temptation where I had to resist kissing him. He was always beautiful and glowing as a single man until when he entered a relationship. I didn't want that glow to die out because of the wrong person. One fateful night we had planned to go to an art exhibition, but I had a plan of my own. To ask the big question. I remember wearing my best clothes and wearing perfume I knew he would have no choice but to notice. Oh my god, why do you smell so good? He asked when I met with him at his home. You like it? I asked with a smile. If my man was smelling nice like this, God knows we wouldn't be going to that art exhibition, he said. I would have ripped his clothes off him. I laughed, quite hard because I thought it was my cue to make the move. I wanted to be the man he was talking about. When we got to the exhibition, he was around me, holding me like I was his plus one. I wanted it to be more than an assumption. He kept talking about how nice I smelled and how good I looked. You are glowing tonight, you know? I know. You have said this in different ways tonight, I said, smiling from ear to ear. Of course. Seems you are searching for someone here tonight, huh? He asked and winked. I guess so, I smiled. You, Jesse. Oh, really? That's nice. My best friend is about to leave me in the streets, he said. No, Tell me. Seen anyone so far since we've been walking? He asked. I muttered. The time is now, Liam. Do it, I said to myself. Look at that one over there, he pointed at someone. Nope. Jesse, I want to talk, I was saying when someone passed by us and came back. You guys are a perfect couple, aren't you? The person said with a smile. Oh no, we are not a couple. We are just best friends, Jesse said and detached from my arm. There was a way he was looking at him. I felt a little pain in my heart when he said that about us, but I had hoped that I was about to change all that soon. Oh, I am a photographer and I would like to take a photo of you both, the stranger said. Love your dressing, by the way, he said. Thanks, Jesse and I replied. I was actually talking to him, he pointed to me. But now that I see it, you are also stunning. Thank you, said Jesse, and then he turned to me. You heard that? He said I am stunning. I nodded with a wry. The stranger was spoiling plans as far as I was concerned. Smile for the camera, the stranger said. We posed, revealing all sets of smiles to the camera, and then the camera flashed. Nice! One more! The light flashed again. Can you take another pose? Yeah, Jesse said. He was the most excited about it. I just wanted him to go so I could go on with what I planned. Alright, thanks. Once again, the camera flashed. That's good, the stranger said as he moved toward us with the camera to show us the photos he had taken. Wow, these are really nice. I really look good in here, Jesse exclaimed. It was as though he wanted to enter into the camera. I was uninterested, but I had to pretend I was so he could leave. Thank you. Please give me a few minutes. Let me get these photos printed, the stranger said. I am Nico, by the way. I am Jesse, and my grumpy friend here is Liam. Oh, Liam. He looks like Brad Pitt a little, or am I the only one seeing it? Nico asked. Oh my god, I tell him all the time. He always looks like a mad person when I tell him. Nico and Jesse laughed while I managed to smile. He excused us and went his way. I saw the way Jesse's eyes trailed him until he was out of sight. I could feel the anger rise in me because I knew what was about to happen. Once Jesse was done, he turned to me and saw the anger in my eyes. Why are you staring at me like that? No reason. You had better spill whatever's in your mind or it will become a worm that will eat you up from inside, he said. I just know when you start acting that way around a stranger, you like him. Well, you know everything about me. He is gonna break your heart. It's just gonna be the same thing all over again. You bawling your eyes out while I comfort you morning and night. Jesse, come on, I said. How are you able to size him up from one look, bonehead? Jesse asked. I have seen men like him come in and go out of your life. I have a feeling this is gonna go right. Jesse, just look at how cute he is, Jesse said. I looked in the direction of Nico and I could see him staring back. Nico waved with a smile and Jesse did too. And hot, too. Jesse, why can't you be happy for me, Liam? I have been single for a long time. I am back on my feet thanks to you. I am ready to try new things, new relationships. I can't stay guarded all the time, or else I won't see when love comes. Jesse, you have been single for a long time and it has made you pessimistic. You should find someone tonight. I found mine already. Excuse me, I have got to go collect our photos. And probably his digits, he said and walked away. I felt weak by his words. The pain stung everywhere in my body, but mostly my chest like he had stabbed my heart. I could feel the tears coming, so I walked out of the gallery to release all the tears. I went to my car, started the engine, and angrily drove away. I got to a point on the road and turned around. I couldn't leave Jesse. Where were you? Jesse asked when he saw me walk into the gallery. I got lost while looking for the restroom, so Were you crying? He asked, frowning. No, I went to respray my perfume and mistakenly got it into my eyes. Oh, sorry. You okay? Yeah. My voice faded. Alright, let's go home. I am driving. On our way home, it was torture hearing him speak about him. I was crying while I stared out the window, the air drying out my tears. All I could get from the night was that there was nothing I could do for Jesse to notice me. The next 2 weeks. Like each one of his old relationships, Jesse put me aside while he texted Nico all day. If we were to talk about anything, it was always Nico. Nico this, Nico that. It was so annoying hearing that name. Nico asked of you, Jesse said to me. Why does he always ask of me? I don't want him to ask of me, I said. Stop being the Grinch that stole frickin' Christmas. He is just being nice. Nice, Nico, he replied. We are going out. Want to come? Where are you going? We are going to see a movie. He wants you to come, by the way, Jesse said. Why? I don't know. Probably to take photos of us, I guess, he said. I sighed. I am not coming. You sure? He asked. It's a horror movie. I am not. I am going to give you the last chance to. Alright, fine. Good. Go get dressed. We were already at the cinema waiting in line to get a ticket. It was annoying hearing Nico and Jesse's conversations spill into my ears. It sucked being a third wheel. Especially in a situation like this. When we got in, Jesse left us to get snacks. Hey Liam, how have you been? Good. You? I have been great. I forgot to ask you that day, what was the name of the cologne or perfume you used that day at the gallery? I don't remember. I just picked it up at the supermarket. Oh, I must commend you that you know what's good. You also dress nice too, he said. I really like that. Thanks, I said, then my voice trailed off. I dislike your guts. Why the hell are you talking to me? I thought. He was about to say something when Jesse came back. When we entered, I happened to be sitting in their midst until Jesse said, Liam, please, let's exchange. You don't like that place? I asked. No, I can't see. It's the same thing. No, it's not, he replied. It is. Liam, please, he said and gave me the puppy eyes. It was getting embarrassing and I had no choice but to do it. The two kept irritating me with their giggles and small talk. I hated myself for agreeing to come. I vowed I was never going to come any time they invited me, but I found myself saying yes each time they told me to come with them. All this was to see if it was going to go anywhere or not. But unfortunately, right before my teary eyes, the two got into a relationship some weeks later. Oh, I hated myself even more and cried one of the saltiest tears ever while pretending to be happy for my friend. Back to present. 7 months later. Liam? Jesse called me out of my reverie. Tears had gathered at the sides of my eyes. You're getting married? My voice sounded like it was muffled. I was feeling multiple pains at the same time. I had never felt so crushed like that in my whole life. He is gone like that. Are you okay, Liam? He asked, concerned. Why are you crying? I think I want to go, I said as I staggered like I was stung on my foot. I lost grip on myself and almost fell, but Jesse got me before I could do anything. Liam, what's going on? Aren't you happy for me? Why are you crying? He asked, but my voice was too weak to reply as I walked toward the door. Liam, he said and held me by my arm. I have to go, Jesse. Talk to me, Liam. I don't understand these tears. I can't tell if they are of joy or sadness. Let me go, Jesse, I said as I pulled myself from his grip. I walked out while he kept calling my name. A week after Jesse dropped the bomb on me, I hit rock bottom. He was always at my door, knocking on it like as if he wanted the door to fall flat. While he did that, he was also bombarding me with calls. Go away! I shouted at Jesse when he would not stop knocking at my door. I had already planned that if I could find my way, I was going to travel far away. Come on, open the door! He said, banging at the door. No! Open this door this minute or I'm gonna call 911 and tell them you want to harm yourself, he said. Go ahead! Liam, just look at me through the window! At least look at me. No! Liam, what do you want? We've been doing this for a week. I still don't know why you wouldn't talk to me, Jesse said. I guess it is your cue to stop trying. Just go, Jesse. Even when I told him to go, he still wouldn't leave. One of the things that worried me the most was that I didn't know how I was going to go through my heartbreak. I felt dead and I felt there was no way I was going to ever have life in me. 3 days later, I had begun to prepare to leave. My mind had even traveled before me. But just as that was happening at the side, I got a message from a strange number. I checked the message and it said, Hi Liam, this is Nico. Nico? How did he get my I got your number from Jesse. I know I am the last person you want to hear from, but if it wasn't important, I wouldn't be contacting you. It is about Jesse and I. I would like to talk to you in person about it. I frowned, confused about what exactly Nico was talking about. Then I thought it might be some kind of bait for me to come out. Is this some bait to get me out of the house? You and Jesse's plan, isn't it? I replied. I promise you, it is not a bait. Jesse doesn't know I am doing this. What I want to tell you is really important. You would think it doesn't concern you, but you would be surprised that it does. Why can't we say it on the phone? I don't think it is something we want to talk about on the phone, he said. Why? You would understand when we meet. I stared at the message, contemplating whether to give in or not. I should not be trusting this guy, I thought. Or probably I am doubting him because I dislike him. But that should be enough reason to trust him. He knows you don't like him, so whatever he would have to tell you would have to be true. Yet, it could be Jesse pretending to be Nico. Jesse, is that you? No, I promise. Want us to call? He asked. Don't bother, I said. Fine, where do we meet? I'm gonna text the address right now, he said. He sent the address and it didn't seem to me that it could be Jesse because it wasn't somewhere we had ever been before. But I still had to remain suspicious nevertheless. We met at a diner I had never been to but passed by. I saw Nico coming toward me, wearing a cap, walking suspiciously and looking over his shoulder. I had a feeling that whatever he was going to tell me was going to make him fall from grace in the sight of Jesse. It is going to be for my benefit. Hi, Liam, he said as he sat in the chair opposite me. Hi. Have you ordered anything? He asked. No, I'm okay. You sure? Yeah. I took something before I came here. Alright, do you mind if I order a coffee? I am kinda nervous, he said. Knock yourself out. Thanks. He called the waiter and ordered a cup of coffee. The way he was stealing nervous glances at me while waiting for his coffee seemed fishy. I looked about to see if he had played me. No, Jesse is not here. I wasn't lying when I said it is not a bait. How about you get on with it? I have got some things to do. I was planning to leave the next day, but whatever I was going to hear was going to determine if I was going to go forever or not. The waiter came at the right time with a cup of coffee. Thanks, he said to the waiter and sipped. Let me just go straight to the point. About time. Liam? I like Jesse. I mean, he is amazing. He is kind and thoughtful, funny, makes good coffee. I know all that, Nico. Get to the point where you say, but, I said. I knew it. But I love someone else, he said. I told Jesse it would break his heart, but he just wouldn't listen to me. I wish things didn't have to get to this. They wouldn't have if the person I am in love with would have just noticed me. Why then did you propose, I asked. I didn't. He did. Then why didn't you say no? I don't know. I guess I didn't want to hurt his feelings. His voice trailed off. Liam, the truth is, you are the one I'm in love with.
What?
I yelled, forgetting where I was. My eyes were wide open, staring aghast at him. I hoped he was going to say it was a joke, but when I saw that he tried to hold my hands, I knew he was being real. I withdrew my hand.
What the? Me?
Yes, it is you I have been in love with, not Jesse. It was you I wanted, not Jesse. I wanted to get your number, but you were out of the exhibition, and it was Jesse who came to me.
What the freaking hell? I can't believe my ears! It had better be a joke!
It is not a joke, Liam, he said. Every one of my shots at you, you deflected them. I have tried to speak to you, but you never listened. I tried to get your number, but you always gave me the wrong one. You have always hated me for no reason.
Oh my god! What the hell are you saying?
I am saying it feels like I am making a mistake doing this with Jesse, and at the same time, if I were to leave Jesse, I don't think you would love me back. Or do you?
No, I don't!
I stood to my feet and started walking out of the diner into the drizzling rain while he called after me. I still can't believe what Nico told me. I still couldn't believe how it could have come to be. The three of us were in some weird love triangle.
What the hell?
Liam! I heard Nico's voice approaching me from behind.
Get away from me, Nico! You're drunk! You don't know what you are saying!
I know what I am saying, Liam, he said. I have always hoped you would notice me all this while.
Leave me! I don't want to hear anything from you!
I yelled at him. I entered my car and switched on the engine. He stood outside my window, calling after me. I ignored him and drove away while he called behind me. I wanted to believe it so much that I was in a dream which I wanted to wake up from. No, this can't be happening. My mind was racing as I stared at the ceiling while laying on my bed. It was all so surreal. I became confused about whether to tell Jesse about what Nico told me or to just go ahead with my plan to leave. I thought of sleeping over it, but my mind would just not let me. My eyes remained open. It is not your business, Liam. It would not change anything, I thought. If I told him and they broke up, we were gonna be back to square one with me trying to find confidence to tell him how I felt. Even if I was gonna tell him, I already knew what his answer was going to be. My phone buzzed and it was a message from Jesse telling me he wanted to check on me. I began to think it wasn't fair to put him in the dark. It was at that moment I decided what to do. I was going to leave. The next day. Hi, Jesse. I am sorry I haven't been speaking to you for a while. You still showed me you're the amazing person I know you are, and it is the reason I fell in love with you. Yes, you read this right. I have been in love with you, and I have painfully watched you go in and out of relationships without ever noticing I could be the perfect one for you. It hurts that you don't feel the same way and have to watch you get married to another one. By the time you are reading this, I am on my way somewhere else. Far from here and far from you. I still love you, but for my sanity, I have to go. See you later in the future. Have a happy married life, by the way. I sent this text message immediately after I got on the plane. I knew my phone was going to start blowing up in a minute, so I put it on airplane mode. Tears streamed down my face as I reluctantly blocked his number. I felt like I might have made a bad decision, and at the same time, I felt it needed to happen. Bye, Jesse. 3 months later. Life seemed slow for me in the city I moved into because I had to start over. It was a little hard, but I began to get used to it. But I never stopped thinking about Jesse. 3 things about Jesse lingered with me. The way he looked, my love for him, and the day they were to get married. You'd wonder how. Well, Jesse was always knocking at my door. He always asked if I was going to come for his wedding and always managed to mention the date in the conversation. There was this countdown in my head to the wedding. It was 1 month to the wedding and I already imagined that they were already making plans for the wedding. Or so I thought until I got an email from him. It was disheartening. Liam, I have tried reaching you everywhere but to no avail. I am in a bad place right now. I am devastated and on the brink of losing it. Nico died. The moment I saw these first few sentences, I stopped reading. My eyes widened in shock. I became weak as I began to imagine how shattered he would be at the moment. I returned to my phone to read the rest. He died from an accident some days ago. I can't eat, I can't sleep. All I see is Nico's lifeless body at the hospital. I need you. Immediately after, I finished reading the message. I replied, I am so sorry, Jesse. I am really sorry that this happened. I will board a plane for you first thing tomorrow morning. Please stay strong for me till I come. I am so sorry. The next day, I took the first flight back. Soon I was in front of Jesse's door. I took a deep breath before knocking at his door. He opened the door and stared at me for a minute before throwing himself at me, then broke down into tears. "I am so sorry," I kept whispering in his ear. It was shocking that I knew Nico and suddenly he had ceased to exist. It was crazy that all he had were now memories of him. I remembered that night he confessed his feelings to me, not knowing it was going to be the last time. I didn't like him, but I knew how much Jesse loved him. I could imagine how heartbroken he must be to always wake up to the reality that they would never see each other again. The next week, Jesse was always crying and I always had to comfort him, but the tears never stopped. That was what he did all day. Stay in bed and cry. He became different from the Jesse I had always known. He had this rage that always took over him and made him start throwing things about. He spoke less and began to eat so much to the extent that I began to worry. I had packed just to stay for 2 weeks, but it seemed the situation gradually worsened. The next 3 months. It had already been 3 months since I had moved in with Jesse, but it felt like a year. Jesse had gained so much weight because he was always eating. It was always a tussle to always snatch food from his strong hands, which were always tight like a newborn baby's. He was always angry with me whenever I managed to get it out of his hands. "That's enough for today," I said as I grabbed a bag of chips from him. "This is like your 18th. "Give it back, Liam," he said with a scowl. "No, you know I won't."
Give it, Liam. I am not playing. Give it right now. No. Liam, give it to me. Stop. No, I am not giving, Jesse. I am sorry, I can't. I said give me the freaking thing right now!
He yelled. He looked so angry and his face was something close to bloodthirsty. I was a little afraid and flinched a bit, but I didn't move.
No, Jesse! Liam! I said no!
I retorted. In a second after I yelled those words, he pounced on me before I could blink and tried to snatch the bag from me. The room suddenly became noisy with our heaving breaths and our struggle for the bag of chips. We both had our grasp on it, pulled it till it tore, and the contents fell out of the bag. It was there the fight stopped. In that same minute, I saw the anger on Jesse's face as he stared at the chips on the ground helplessly.
What the hell is wrong with you? I am just trying to help you, Jesse, I said. Help me? For what? I didn't ask for your help. Let me eat in peace. I am trying to help you recover, Jesse. You are not okay. Thanks for stating the obvious, so I don't need your help. You need help. You called me here, remember? That was then. You're free to leave now, he said. I am not leaving, no matter what you say. What the hell are you saying? I am a total mess, a train wreck beyond repair. What are you still here for? He asked angrily. I am here because I love you. While your mouth wants me out of here, your heart needs me to stay. He went silent and stared at me intently. He then shook his head. You shouldn't be around me, Liam. I am no good. You should have left this place a long time ago. I don't care what you say, Jesse. He didn't listen to what I was saying. He was looking around for something, and I knew what he was looking for. What are you looking for? I asked, but he didn't listen. He still kept searching while I followed him about. Then he gave up on his search and turned to me with a frown. Where are my other chips? What other chips? You know what I am talking about. Where are they? Jesse, I can't keep watching you waste away while eating those. Where are they? He had that bloodthirsty look again. I am not telling you. Liam! His voice swallowed my voice as he inched closer to me. No! Liam! I want those chips! He said as he held me by the shirt. While he raised his clenched fist, I was so scared I thought he was going to punch me. Jesse, I said, looking into his eyes. It was as though my voice reached into his soul, past all that sadness and rage because his fist hung in the air. I could see tears around the corners of his eyes. Why are you doing all these things to me? He asked softly. You know I want those chips. I know you want those chips, but you don't need them. I need them, Liam. It is how I get by. It is how I cope, he said. But all that food is killing you slowly, I said. You know how painful it is for me to see you rot all day and eat every minute. But nothing, Jesse, I said. Have you seen yourself in the mirror lately? No, because you haven't had your bath for 3 weeks. I have been begging you, but you wouldn't listen. The room reeks of odor, but most importantly, of your despair and sadness.
I saw him walk to the other side of the room where there was a standing mirror. I watched his surprised reaction when he saw himself. Then he began to sob.
Why?
He asked. Why what?
Why are you still here?
He asked.
You know I stink. I eat a lot. I have got anger issues. I am overweight. And yet you are still here. Why?
I am here because I love you, Jesse.
What kind of love makes you stay with me through all these?
The love I have always had for you, Jesse. It has never waned. Even after I left, I tried to force myself to stop loving you, but it just never worked. He kept mute and stared at me through the mirror, still crying.
All these years, you watched me get into relationships, but you remained, he said. I don't know what I would have done. I think I would have left.
Yeah, I tried that many times, but apparently, I said as I walked up to him and embraced him. He let out a soft gasp when I hugged him. I still find myself coming back to you. We were in that position for a while before he detached from me and said with a raspy voice,
It's true. I stink. I need to have a thorough bath.
Okay, want me to draw a bath for you? Don't worry, Liam. You have done a lot, he said and walked toward the bathroom. Before he disappeared behind the door, he said, Thank you. I stood there and replied with a warm smile. By the next month, Jesse had started to get better. He stopped those things he used to do gradually, but not completely. It was progress for him and for me. He even told me to go back to work and told me he could take care of himself. At first I was doubtful, but I soon got used to it. We started taking these long walks every evening when I was back from work. Even when I needed to rest from the hectic day, I still always wanted to take those walks with him. The first few days, we were usually some feet apart, but soon, we started holding hands. You know, Liam, Jesse began after a short minute of silence, it is these little things that make you amazing. What little things? You always take these walks with me every evening after work when you're supposed to be resting. I am not complaining. I know, but your feet are, he said. Those legs are aching. Yeah. How about I massage them for you when we get back? Oh my god, I would really need that. I yelled happily and he laughed. Thank you. No, thank you, Liam, he said. You are an amazing human. You deserve all the good things in life. I was drowning some months ago, but you pulled me out. You are welcome, I said and smiled, but his smile was broader. I am happy for you. I am happy for me too. A year later, as people say, it had been a roller coaster. 2 weeks that were originally planned slowly turned into months and eventually into a year. For a long time, nothing ever made him happy. But as the months rolled by, his smile gradually returned to him and he started laughing a lot. He became happy, and I was happy too that he'd become the Jesse I knew. The sassy, happy-go-lucky, hilarious, and beautiful Jesse. But he had now this matured way he spoke and did things. One day, Jesse and I were taking one of those walks we always took all year. His arm was hooked around mine while we breathed in the fresh air of the city park. For a while since we had been walking, I had been feeling his eyes on my face. Liam? Yeah? How can I say thank you to you? In what way? I just feel saying it isn't enough. Oh my god, this again? I said exasperatedly. Yeah, he said. I have realized something over the year that I took you for granted. It was like you were always at the back of a soundproof two-way mirror, yelling my name, but I never heard you. It's fine, Jesse. You know it's not, he said. I kept mute and we remained in the awkward silence. Why did you wait to say something? I tried. I really tried, Jesse. The words just would never come out. The night I thought I found the confidence to tell you was at the gallery. We stared at each other and he immediately understood that it was about the night he met Nico. So, that stuff about spraying your eyes with perfume was a lie? He asked. Mm-hmm. He stared at the ground and I could sense how guilty he felt. I remember the way I spoke to you that night. I'm so sorry, Liam. I was a jerk. It's fine, Jesse. It is all in the past. I am more than glad that you are better. Yeah. And it's all thanks to you. Nah, I didn't do anything special. You would have done the same for me, I said. He said nothing, but we continued walking. I also learned something else, Liam. Yeah? What is it? I learned that I am in love with you. What? I muttered, and then we stopped in our tracks. Liam, I know it took me a while to know that you are the perfect one for me, but I hope it is not too late to now tell you I love you. It'll be understandable if your love for me is faded. I stared deep into his eyes after he made those words. There were no words. I probably had never thought about that moment. That was why I was speechless. I have no words, I said and chuckled. A tear crawled down my cheek. He just smiled expectant of what I was going to say eventually. He wiped the tear off my face. Take your time. I guess I could say there was no way I could have stopped loving you. Not after being with you all this year. My voice silenced when he pulled me in for a kiss, with my words pinned by our lips. My eyes were closed, feeling all of the goosebumps spread across my body. Magic. That was what I felt. He pulled his face from me to look at me. Sorry, was that sudden? Sudden? I asked and pulled his face and kissed him. 6 months later, I had just finished having a bath when I was startled by the presence of Jesse. Immediately, I opened the shower curtain. He was on one knee, stretching his 2 hands like 2 options. One was with a small cake in his hand with a lit candle on it. On the other hand, there was an open ring box. I stifled the squeak that escaped my throat with my hands. I didn't know when I started crying. Jesse? I mumbled. I have no speech prepared, Liam. All I know is I can't believe how stupid I have been to know what I have been searching for has been looking at me right in the eye, he said. I am so freaking glad that I didn't realize this too late. I want to spend my life with you, Liam. I was laughing and crying at the same time. Romantic and hilarious at the same time. It was what I had been wanting all my life from the one I loved. I want to... I am speechless, Liam, he said and chuckled. I guess all I want to say is, will you marry me, Liam? Would you love to grow old and toothless with me? A lot of cheese, Jesse, I said and laughed. Yes, Jesse, I will marry you. He hugged me and held my face, kissed me from my head to my torso, tickling me before I put the ring on my finger. I couldn't stop the tears even though I was happy. I threw myself on him. A month later, we began to plan for our wedding and picked a date to get married. But as the date drew nearer, Jesse was always anxious, fearing the same fate that happened to Nico would happen to me. I always assured him it was going to go great. Jesse and I had been planning to move out of that house since he got a new job. Eventually we got a new home and the packing day came, which was some weeks before our wedding. I could see the happiness on Jesse's face as we packed. Later, his mood suddenly changed when I saw him. What's wrong, Jesse? You okay? Nothing is wrong. Then why the long face? Nothing, actually, he said and gave me a wry smile. On our way to the new home, I kept pestering him, but he refused to say anything. He remained moody, looking outside the window. Eventually, I saw him in a corner, with his attention fixed on a book. I walked up to him. You've got to tell me what's wrong, Jesse. I said, Don't tell me nothing, Jesse. I have heard that all day, I said. Jesse stared at me for a while and sighed. Fine, he said and showed me the book. I took the book and read. Dear Diary, or how could I put it without sounding juvenile? I am in a relationship with Jesse. I like him, but it is his friend I am in love with. I don't know what to do. I stared at the diary, speechless. Jesse, I have something to tell you. Before I left, Nico confessed to me that he was in love with me. I could see him frowning. I promised the love was one-sided. I didn't love him back. I didn't even know he did. So, I loved him and he didn't love me back? He asked. Yeah. Why didn't you tell me? I thought it wouldn't make a difference. You didn't love me then, I said. God, he muttered and sighed. How dare you make it about you? How would you feel if you were getting married to me and you found my diary somewhere and discovered I loved someone else? Hurt? Like I have been all these years? Liam, this is different. If you look at it, it is not, I said. I really don't get why you are angry. He stared with a frown, like he didn't believe I said it. He wanted to storm out when I held him by his arm. Wait, Jesse, what, Liam? You say it is the same. It is like you never forgave me for all those years I didn't fall in love with you. Why do you want me to feel that same hurt? It is not like that. You don't see the difference? I loved him, and he pretended to love me. We were freaking engaged, and we were gonna get married. How's that the same with yours? We both experienced unrequited love, I said. Liam, I was never aware you were in love with me. Don't you get it? I know, I am just saying you shouldn't feel so much hurt now that we are together, I said. It wouldn't hurt as much if you had just told me. But how do you know we would be together now if I had told you then? I asked angrily. He stared at me for a moment and then walked away. Jesse, I called out, but he didn't listen. The next 2 days. For 2 days there was tension in the house. He responded when I spoke to him, but he was always dry with his responses. That night we slept on the same bed, but it was obvious there was tension between us. I hated how we were not speaking. I had tried to speak to him throughout the day, but I could see he was really angry with me. Jesse, what? He said weakly. Oh, I just want to know if you were awake, I said. I can't sleep. There are only a few weeks to our wedding, but we are having this fight. It wouldn't have happened if you didn't keep it from me. Jesse, I groaned. You still don't get it, do you? He asked. I am more angry you kept it from me than finding out in a diary after he died. I am sorry, but... I am so sorry, Jesse. I thought I was doing the right thing. It's okay. As from now on, no more secrets, Liam. No more secrets. Do you promise? He asked. I swear and promise that there will be no more secrets. Good, he said with a smile and kissed me on my forehead. Now I can sleep well, I said with a smile. He chuckled. I love you, he said. I love you more. We kissed and then we said goodnight. I went to sleep smiling, knowing it will be alright. Everything will be alright. We will be alright. Conclusion. We got married at a church. Just us and the presiding minister. It was the best day of my life, and I could tell from Jesse's big smile that he felt the same way. Immediately, the minister told us to kiss each other. We kissed like we had not seen each other for years. Every day since that day was nothing but beautiful with Jesse. Sometimes I always had to remind myself that I was not dreaming. I couldn't believe that I thought nothing could happen between Jesse and me but love won, I guess. The end. Have you ever been in a love triangle? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become part of our Rainbow Force and stay wholesome.